really curious if law schools can keep charging what they charge.
That was my next question. Should one pay the same amount for an online law school as an in-person when you're missing out on all of the networking opportunities, all of the extracurriculars, the clinics,
right? We were
and
talking about that earlier in our discussion. Is, you know, 1L certainly, but the rest of the entire law school experience, you are bonding with your classmates because you're all in these trenches together. And when you're accepting an offer from a law school and you commit to going there, you are also investing. You're investing not just in that education and not just those 3 years, you're investing in your alumni network for the rest of your life, right? And how strongly do those bonds form in an online scenario? I don't have a good answer for that, but I'm certain that it's going to be quite different from the social aspect of going to law school in the real world. And I don't know how that can be replicated, and it might not be. But again, are people going to be willing to pay for that? Now, law is a cartel, right? It's a legal cartel. You cannot practice law without a law degree. Doesn't matter how smart you are. Doesn't matter if you're an awesome paralegal. If you don't have that law degree, the cartel keeps you out, right? And it's legal. That's all kosher. So if you really want to practice law, you're not going to have any choice but to go get that law degree. There are some exceptions here and there, that not the norm, right? The Kim Kardashian exception.
I was just going to say, I was trying to hold it back.
We had to go there. It was just inevitable.
It's all right. It's all right.
Kardashians had to come up. So for those who don't know, in California, which is where I am, they have a very outlier system where you typically join the bar by passing the bar exam and doing some other things. And you typically have to have gone to law school first, but they have this exception where you don't have to go to law school, but if you sort of apprentice yourself and, you know, somehow master test prep for the exam and can pass it, you know, that's another way to join the bar, but that's not typical at all. So I'm going to put aside the Kim Kardashian situation, right? So if it's really important to you to practice law, you have to get a law degree. Does that mean you have to go with the most expensive law degree? No. Right? And you might decide, you know what, if I'm not getting all these benefits of an in-person experience, maybe now I'm really focusing on the price tag and maybe less on the name, if that turns out to be the better deal for you. And I think that's very defensible, because ultimately, what's more important to you, going to a specific school that, you know, you have in your head that you have to go to that school, and I get that, we've all been there, or is it more important to you to actually go out and practice law and do cool stuff as a lawyer? You know, because if it's the latter, and if that's the end goal, there are a lot of different ways you can get there. They all require a JD, right? But you know, there are a lot of different paths to that, and so maybe you have to uncouple that end goal from a sort of traditionally narrow view of what kinds of schools you'd be willing to consider.
I agree. And I like the bifurcation there, where we have like maybe the top 14 or the top 20 law schools where the in-person on-campus experience really matters. The name really matters, especially depending on your specific career goals. Big law being first and foremost among them, I would imagine with having that name on your resume. But in many other cases, and more than you might think, the brand name school might not matter that much. And if you want to save some money, you have a high LSAT score, you can get a full ride somewhere lower ranked. And maybe given coronavirus, you don't want to travel too far. You want to stay regional or maybe go online, just get that JD, have the degree, and then really do whatever you want with it in your own area.
And regional might just be more attractive to you now anyway, because you want to be close to home and close to the people, you know, that you want to be able to take care of in a crisis situation. So maybe you decide, I don't even really need a national law school. I don't need to have all those doors open all around the country, all around the world. You know, maybe a regional degree, meaning that degree has the most currency and the most name recognition and the biggest alumni networks kind of within a certain orbit, a certain radius around home turf. That's what I would define as a regional school. Maybe that's completely fine, and it's become more attractive than it might have been before.
Thanks for tuning into the show. Please subscribe if you haven't done so already to be notified of new episodes as I release them. And feel free to reach out if you need anything at all as you move forward with your prep. I'm happy to help however I can. In the meantime, I'll wish you all the best and take care.